All right, man. Shout out to the playback. We're gonna talk about a few things, current events in boxing. Um, First on the list, Adrian, the problem. He still has not found a solution. And you know what I think it is? Just bad investments, bad decisions that this guy's made in his career. You know, I can't help but think about the clique that was pretty popular at one particular time. It was AB, Errol Spence, Tank, Robert Easter, maybe a few others. But they were having a lot of fun at a particular time when, they had winning records and a lot of money and a lot of bottles. And there were certain athletes in and around their weight class that wasn't engaging in a lot of the extracurricular activities, clubbing, um, Ciroc bottles and hanging out late hours and with certain groups of people that really don't help you become a better boxer. Adrian Broner is a prime example of that. Adrian Broner is one of those individuals in boxing that was rooting against Crawford, you know. And then after Crawford won, then he want to act like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your success, brother." But he was team Errol Spence, and Errol Spence, who caught a lot of flame on this side of the street, he definitely he was out here playing too much, man, and engaging in a lot of street activity and due to certain circumstances that took place in this man's life, um, he had a change of heart. He decided to return to the sport of boxing wholeheartedly after bouncing off concrete when he was jetting out in his Ferrari, and they say he was drunk, you know, and drunk athletes end up like what you see on the screen. Um, Bud will send your ass home looking hurt. Low key though, when I was looking at this, he almost just looked like he's in a euphoric state, man. Like Bud beat this man into a bliss. It's a ignorance is bliss state. He don't look upset or nothing in this clip here. He looks like, you know what, man? I ain't never felt like this before. But anyway, man, this is what the path that it leads to. You getting your ass whooped really bad when you're not dedicated to your craft, or even worse, in an Adrian Broner's case, um, all of these bills, AB stands for something different now, you know, and just like how Bud Crawford looking at AB, just like, man, you fucked up, right? You done wasted your talent, right? So much greatness this man was around, but instead he wanted to, you know, um, team up with the little champ shit stuff, hang out with the crew of individuals that don't care about legacy, and ultimately, when they step up with elite competition, they get their ass whooped every time. Adrian Broner, I believe, has what, like 4 losses, Now he's out here being embarrassed on It Is What It Is podcast with Cameron. He's out here being embarrassed in restaurants. And when you don't really have shit going, you have to resort to doing humiliating stuff. You have to resort to you being embarrassed for views. That's the only way I think at this point that Adrian Broner is going to be able to get a headline. It's going to either be him doing something stupid, like getting caught up in some crime, or um, not being able to pay his bill, pay the tab or whatnot. You know, just humiliating himself, man. AB stands for all bad. It's just been all bad lately for Adrian Broner, and it's his fault. There's nobody to blame but him. And I just feel like when it's alcohol involved with these boxers, maybe AB can stand for that too. Alcoholic boxers. He's an alcoholic boxer, and when that's involved, man, it's a quicker down spiral for them. It just seems like they really can't handle themselves. We seen Errol Spence. Um, when Errol Spence would get drunk, it was like he wanted to learn new dances and shit. I started to upload this one clip. I should probably still do it. Where you know, Errol was proud to show off his little new dance and stuff every time he would get drunk. And they would encourage you like, yeah, Errol. Spence. You know. Let me see if I can upload it. Quick fast. Just to show y'all um what the dudes is not focused. This is what they be focused on. Errol Spence out here getting belt after belt, putting belt to ass, and these dudes got their pants sagging underneath their ass, learning new dances. Watch, I'm gonna show you. Let me find this clip. Hold up. And then we're gonna get to some tragic news too, unfortunately. But yeah, man, let me find this dog. Oh, there it go. I was like, where this shit at? All right, it's uploading. Gonna take a little minute just to help, give a better description of what I'm talking about while I'm narrating. But we have to bring this stuff back, unfortunately, talk about this so that we can show you where not being focused can lead you. And it's right where Adrian Broner is at right now. Man, this is taking a while to upload. Hold up. All right, there we go. This shit right here. I ain't gonna play the audio, but you know, dudes hanging out trying to learn new dances, man. That's the craft they was working on. New dances. And Bud Crawford all the while is out here working on his craft, man. So it's unfortunate thing was taking place with Adrian Broner. All bad, AB. It is all bad out here for you, man. And everybody that put you on this pedestal, that was because it seemed like you was the leader for a while, man, leader of alcoholic boxers, and you know, that's why we have to create this flame, man. This is why we have to flame these individuals, because if not, they're gonna lead a generation of idiots down the same path that they're on. You know, who's gonna work with Adrian Broner at this point? You know, this man is just doing. He gonna do. You know, I don't know what for a bag, man. You know, just so that he can keep staying drunk. He gonna do these interviews, man, so he can yeah, man, be out here acting a fool. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate. Let me see what we got here before I go to this next thing. Man, what's up, Bruce? We got Bruce Gas up in here. We got Charles. What's up, bro? What's up, homie? Whoever you are. Lisa, what's going on? And we got Ras Cloud up in here. Yeah, we're gonna talk about him. Yeah, man. You know, all of a sudden, you want to dance with your homies when you're drunk. That's what they was doing out here, man. AB, Spence, and y'all was mad at us because we was flaming them. He said Brono's a weak ass boxer. Dancing in the moonlight ass ninjas. Don't blame it on the sunlight ass niggas, man. Right, bro. So, so yeah, to start off this particular video, flame of shame, man, to the AVs out here and the alcohol. That's the alcoholic boxers, man. Flame of shame. We're not having it over here, man. Adrian Broner could have been a lot further in his career had he just put down the alcohol, you know. But this particular athlete right here chose to he chose to be focused more on fame, trying to be noticed on World Star and shit like that. So at a time period when a lot of y'all was congratulating them and saying that, you know, we hating because we can't live a lifestyle or whatever that y'all was saying. What y'all talking about now? AB is out here making an utter fool of himself, man. And I'm just glad that Shakur Stevenson is smart enough not to follow after AB and is following after Bud Crawford. This is why he's undefeated still. This is why he's won in multiple weight classes. This is why he's relevant still today, despite people, whether they like him or not, you know. Um, he's doing what he's supposed to do to stay relevant in the sport. But he's not staying relevant by doing dumb shit like AB. So yeah, man. I don't feel sorry for Adrian Broner. I used to, but not no more, man. You know, he's just doing this to himself. And on this side of the culture, we're gonna flame him because this is unnecessary, man. You've had more opportunities than a lot of people, and you're throwing it away, man. You're blowing it. Charles said, "AB about Bacardi." Yeah, man. All this Bacardi and stuff, and here you are, man, getting your ass whooped by Blair the Flair Cobbs and stupid, stupid stuff, man. So you got Blair the Flair. He can go out, you know, and tell his grandkids, "I whoop Adrian, you know, the problem Broner, 4 division champ." You know, all because you want to just say yes to Bacardi and no to discipline. So that's what you get. Let's see, man. Let me get to this next thing before I get to the tragic shit. because there's been some tragic stuff taking place this year. Let me share this with y'all, man. Thank y'all for being here. Um, Good fight that took place on the undercard of Canelo and Crawford. A lot of us know. Uh, and Billy Christian and Billy faced Lester Martinez. That fight was ruled a draw, but I actually felt and Billy did enough in the earlier rounds to squeak out one more round than Martinez. Actually thought it was 7 rounds to five. No, excuse me, 6 rounds to four. It was 10 round fight. I thought that and Billy definitely faded towards the end. Lester Martinez was landing some clean ass shots, hooks and uppies on Lester Martin on and Billy. But in Billy, you know, a draw I guess is fair in the sense that he looked it really bad in them last little 3 to 4 rounds. But I thought that he definitely dominated the first half and did it up to win 6 rounds on my card. But the judges saw otherwise, man. Ended up being a draw. As a matter of fact, one of the judges had Martinez winning by what 3, 4 rounds, whatever. But the immediate rematch has been ordered, so that should be an exciting rematch right there. Shout out to the fighters that accept these rematches, especially these tough matchups because this is not no easy matchup, man. And Billy was getting tagged up. He's an exciting little fighter or whatnot, but man, he got to work on his defense. Martinez too. You got to definitely get your motor going a lot quicker, man. Lester Martinez was getting tagged up in them first 3, 4 rounds. That's why I was like, oh yeah, you lost this shit. But he definitely is tough. Iron Lester or something, man. They need to give him a different nickname because homie's tough as nails. Christian and Billy is no easy camper. And in them first 4 rounds, that shit was hell. And Martinez, he endured it, man. I was impressed. He endured it. Shot the Bomac, and they did enough for him not to lose. He got the draw, but he's got to do a lot better, a whole lot better in the second fight. I was not impressed in the first 5 rounds with Lester Martinez. I was very disappointed because you impressed me in the fight before that. What fight did you take? Man, you whooped somebody's ass too. I forgot, but you're a pretty good fighter, man. You're a strong puncher. You got a good chin. You got definitely a good gas tank, man. But you got to get busier earlier, man. You cannot get outworked like this. Because I thought that's exactly what Billy did. But you'll get another opportunity to prove yourself, and we'll see. And Billy has been waiting for a title shot, you know, and he's been getting the runaround for quite a while, man. He's been getting the runaround because for a while, Mr. You know, Mr. Canelo Alvarez, Mr. Face of Boxing, was holding up the belts, man. He was fighting Berlanga, who didn't deserve a title shot. He was fighting Munguia, who didn't deserve a title shot. And then he fought Bud Crawford, who didn't deserve a title shot at super middleweight. But in Billy, yes, he was somebody that should have definitely been considered for a title shot, you know. But unfortunately, he had to, fight all these other dangerous fights, in hopes that he would still win and still be in position to fight for a world title. So now that Bud Crawford is the 168 champion, he can only hope that Bud Crawford will give him a chance, which I don't think is going to happen, you know, or just wait for Bud Crawford to vacate the belts and then he can fight for a vacant. That would be dope, for him and Lester Martinez to rematch and it be a vacant belt on the line or something because I think they both deserve to fight for a world title. Those two guys right there, you know. So, best of luck to and Billy in the rematch, and best of luck to Lester Martinez, man. But you got to definitely do much better. They both need to work on their defense. You know, yeah, definitely in Billy, work on your defense. And Lester Martinez, man, shit, that I don't know what you was waiting on in the first 3, 4 rounds. You was getting your ass whooped. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. Also, We have a new champion. I knew that this was going to happen because Bud Crawford went up in weight to fight Canelo. But speaking of AB, there is a new AB in town. For the people that don't know, his name is Abass Barou. He was the interim champion after he beat Yones Teles. That was a good ass scrap. Um, and AB impressed me, but he got upgraded now. He's the new WBA champ. I don't really consider him an email champ because he fought for the title, for the interim title. And a lot of us knew that whoever won that fight, between him and Teles was going to get upgraded because Bud Crawford was a good chance was going to come back down. And based on what Bud Crawford said after he whooped Canelo, he said he's not going to go back down to 154. So, and new WBA champion, Abbas Baru, shout out to him. You know, he's one of the players in the 154 division, along with what you call it, Xander Zayas, Sebastian Fundora, and what's the other champ? Murtazaliev, Bakr Murtazaliev. So we got four champs. We need to get some unifications cracking. And I think that this guy, Abbas Baru, is going to fight either one. I don't see him ducking nobody. I think that he wants to smoke. I think he's hungry. I don't think he's just one of them guys that just wanted to become world champ and now he want to cherry pick and start ducking and dodging. I think he's willing to get in there, hopefully. But I'm just here to say that congratulations to AB from Germany, the AB from Germany, and on becoming the new WBA champion at 154 pounds. And best of luck. You know what I mean? Best of luck to this guy. So, yeah, man. Let me see what y'all thinking on that. He said Blair knocked his tooth out and shit. Facts. Yeah, man. Wow. He said Blair the Flair would be any version of Broner. Hype Job Promotions. Yeah. Yeah. It was a close fight, but that knockdown in the last round definitely sealed it. Definitely. He said his defense is trash. I thought he's a pretty decent boxer, man. I thought he's pretty decent. Very aggressive. I saw he fought pretty good on the back foot. He fought good on the inside. Yeah, he definitely got to work on his defense, but I think he made up for it for his offense. Super, he's very, very, very active. Throws a lot. Throws a lot of shots. A good boxer was cool. And oh, he said and Billy. Oh, I'm thinking of yeah, boss. Yeah, yeah, and Billy. Yeah, and Billy got to definitely tighten up on the D. So either Martinez got a good chin or and Billy Powers overrated. Yeah, elevated champ promotions. Let me see. 154 division is too stacked for elevated champs to win the legit title. Yeah, man. We gotta definitely see some action cracking with 154. It's just too much. It's too much talent. It's too many champs, and um, it's about time we see some great fights, man. It's about time we see some great fights cracking in the 154 pounds. Um, you got Keith Thurman getting a shot versus Sebastian Fundora. And it's like, what the hell? Like, how do you skip the line? But yeah, it's crazy. Um, Let me make sure if I go to this next thing, I don't forget. I don't miss nothing. Man, there was a young Hispanic boxer that that they found, dude, dead on the side of a road. I'm gonna pull up this article. I'm gonna share it with y'all. Unfortunate situation that took place. The dude was only like 21 or 22 years old, and it's just been a lot of tragic things taking place in the sport of boxing, and this is just one of them. So let me pull this up right quick. ones that rock with me, man, be so kind and hit that like button for me. So let me see. This kid's name Jesus Ivan Mercado Cabrera. It's a lot of names, man. Um, he was found dead. Says he was found dead wrapped in a blanket as major investigation launched. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Says the body of Jesus, a promising Mexican boxer was found wrapped in a blanket on the side of a road near the U.S. border after he was reported missing. 21 years old, considered one of the country's top prospects, was discovered wrapped in a blanket and tape in a desert area near the border between the states of Sonora and Baja California, just south of the U.S. border. Mercado Cabrera had been reported missing before his body was found following reports of a suspicious package near a road. He was identified by his distinctive tattoos. Despite no signs of physical violence on his body, local media reports that police suspect he was murdered. Says the relatives were the ones who identified him, and they're going about the proper procedures to give him a proper burial. And it says, rest in peace, Jesus Ivan Mercado Cabrera. Rest in peace, man. Um, yeah, I don't know nothing about this guy, but still, man, you don't have to be super popular to get, you know what I mean, for to be acknowledged. This is unfortunate, to be this young. He wasn't undefeated though. It says here, despite a less than stellar professional record of 7 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw from the 17 professional fights, there were high hopes for Mercado Cabrera's future in the sport. So yeah, man, they had high hopes for him still, despite his record. And he was young, man, early 20s. So um, I don't really see too many details on what happened though. And a lot of times that's what takes place in these articles that get released. They don't really be having a lot of information. And which leads me to the next thing because it also says something in this article about Ricky Hatton. A lot of us know who Ricky Hatton is, a former world champion. He's fought a lot of the greats, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, um, Constance Zoo, many others that, other fights that I've missed as well. But um, rest in peace to Ricky Hatton, man. Um, it came as at a shock, really, because we were pretty much, still riding the high of Bud Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez. And then, we wake up the next morning to the breaking news that Ricky Hatton didn't make it. So it was just, I don't know what happened. This was another situation. They talking about Manchester police talking about there was no suspicious circumstances, but they can't give us no cause of death. He's only 46 years old. Says the family statement released. We are all distraught at the events of recent days. To all our knowledge, despite his well documented struggles, Richard was in a good place. They said he was getting ready to go to Dubai to promote a comeback fight, and he was planning a celebration in Dubai of which his beloved girls Millie and Fernie were to be the center of. And it says that he was excited that they would see him fight for the first time in person. He was a doting grandfather and loved spending time with Campbell and Lila. Campbell, I know is his son. He also is a professional boxer. Campbell hadn't. Says Richard planned to spend more time in. I can't pronounce that. Uh, Ricky has spoken to his family and his team in the days and weeks before the weekend. He had dinner with his girls on Friday night, and Richard was not alone in life or in the days before the weekend. So, I mean, it's got to be more details. We weren't alone on what happened, you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know what really happened. It's just unfortunate that it did happen. Um, like I say, he was only 46 years old. The other kid was only 21 years old. So literally was like a week apart, I believe, when these two tragic events took place with Jesus and Ricky Hatton. So rest in peace, man, to them. And it's been a brutal year, man. I did some, I did a live stream a few months back about those two Asian boxers that died like a week apart, and they actually they were on the same card. Um, damn, which card was that? Damn, I can't think. I don't know if it was the in a way card or something. I don't know, but oh no, I think it was the card with Jin Sasaki when Brian Norman Jr. knocked out Jin Sasaki. So that same card. So just unfortunate, man. Like it's been a lot of boxer deaths, tragic deaths taking place close together. Like, damn, it's just strange this year, you know. So that's unfortunate, man. But besides, Bud Crawford and Canelo, just other things taking place. So I just thought I'd, bring that news to y'all, make y'all aware of it. You guys can always, go to Google or whatnot and or your Safari or whatever and look this information up and get more details on it. Because that's all I really have. They don't really have much on the details of how they died, but yeah, man, that's just how it goes sometimes. So just gotta appreciate them and support them while they're here, and also appreciate what they left behind once they're gone. Let's see. Right. And shout out to the chat, giving their thoughts and condolences. Yep. He said Ricky Hatton was a good fighter. He would have beat Broner too. Damn. Broner's still alive, man, and he definitely needs to take this opportunity to turn his life around, man. Because next time it might not be a next time. So, at the end of the day, this flame is for a reason, not a short season. It ain't because we hate on him or nothing like that. Hopefully you see this shit and be like, man, you know what? MUDC niggas is right, bro. I'm fucking up. You know, he needs somebody telling me fucking up, just like they needed somebody to tell, you know, Errol Spence that he was fucking up, man. When he was out here trying to learn dances and popping Ciroc bottles and all that other shit, y'all should have been flaming him, man. Y'all should have been like, nah, man. This nigga Bud is on your top. Pause. Nigga, stop worried about impressing these niggas in the streets with these goofy dances, bro. Focus. Lock in. But once again, it ain't about I told you so and you know what now and all the other shit. Is just like, man, bro, like how can niggas be so dumb that was gonna have long term success, acting like dope fiends, man, or being drunks, man. What made y'all think that these dudes was gonna be them ones? That's what makes me disappointing to me. That a lot of y'all just fell for that shit. Y'all just went for the glamour and the glitz and seeing that they had choker chains and anklets on and doing weird dances. Then next thing you know, y'all thought that it was, you know, that was the next one. Tank. Now Tank is fighting Jake Paul, ducking another rematch and fighting Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? You know, Bud Errol Spence left out of that Bud Crawford fight looking like a whole nother nigga, man. And we stupid for flaming this nigga, telling him, bro, he need to stop popping them bottles and get serious. And he walking out of there looking like you know, I don't know what the fuck he was looking like, man. Paul Mooney or some shit. You know, if Mooney and Martin had a baby, looking ass, man. You know, he looked like Jerome after getting jumped. You know, then you leave yourself vulnerable to get flamed like that when you leaving the arenas looking like a whole nother nigga, man. Space cadet. So Yeah, man. Hopefully Adrian Broner can learn his lesson from being a drunk and take it serious because as I just spoke on, man, a lot of these athletes is losing their lives young, and it's it's already you know it's already a short life, man. You know what I'm saying? So you don't waste it, man. If you got an opportunity to really make generational wealth, why waste it on Ciroc bottles and going to Diddy parties and doing moist shit, man? So yeah, that's my thoughts, man. Y'all can disagree. I don't give a fuck. It's the Flame series, man. I'm the Black Horseman. Shout out to everybody that pulled up, man. And shout out to the greats, the ones that dedicate themselves and make themselves something in the world, man. Instead of making themselves a meme, you know, making a historical memory instead of making yourself a meme. Shout out to Bud Crawford for being one of the people that is on some big champ shit and will always be talked about in good graces and not on those stupid shit like AB and Spence and shit like that, man. Yeah, let me get up out of here. Shout out to Actual Facts. The AB got to get back on it, man. Let's pray. Yeah, we can pray and all that, but you know, he can pray too. Get on his knees and whatever he do, lay a sheet down, whatever. But he got to figure it out. Grown man stuff. Adrian Broner versus Spence will be a good comeback fight for both, aka washed up promotions. Whatever, man. You know, um, whatever's going to make you put the drink down and get in training camp so that you can prepare for a fight to make a bag. And then after you make that bag, get another fight scheduled so you can stay in training camp and make another bag. It's just that y'all got a lot of idle time, a lot of money, and y'all hanging around the wrong people and you know doing dumb shit. Yeah, man. So that's really all I got for this one, man. This is the Flame series. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. UGC. We out.